Hello everyone, today I want to talk about primitive data types, why we need them, what we're gonna do with them, and how they're gonna help us in Java. That's everything what you're gonna find out today in this video. So let's start. What is it actually variables? Variables are containers for storing data values, basically. They improves our usability of the data. The value stored in a variable can be changed during execution of the program, and variables must be declared before use. So how it's basically gonna looks like. So here is gonna be my data type, then variable name equals data. It's gonna look like this without forward slashes, because otherwise Java does not accept me to type like this. So first of all, let's see. Here is the data types in Java. So it's declared in two different types. One of them is primitive data type, another one is non-primitive data type. As primitive data types, we in Java use integers, floating points, which is also decimals, characters, and booleans. Integers such as bytes, short, int, and long. Float and double, this is decimals. Character is one single character, and boolean, false or true. Non-primitive data types such as string, array, list, and so on you're gonna learn about, but important things at the beginning you need to know about string, array, and list, and set as well, I think is coming, and the rest of it is like more developed, more complicated. So let's start with the primitive data types. Primitive data types, they basically, here's a table you can find on the internet, very easy. You don't have to memorize it because it's a lot of memorizing to these numbers. Basically, you can always Google this table for use, which is more easy to do, right? So we're gonna start with byte with little one, which is size is 8, and this is the range which we're gonna use the byte for. The next one is following by short, which is 16, and this is a shorts range, int 32, our int range, long range, float, double, char, and boolean. This is basically a table you can save on your computer when you need, you're gonna use it. Now I'm gonna show you in Java actually why we need to know all of this. So here are some variables I want to declare, and we're gonna start with integers, age, year, salary, and miles. So let's start with age. How I'm actually gonna do this? Right, age is basically, if we look in the real life, it can be like from 1 till 100, let's say, right? So in this case, I might think and look in the table I use, and I will see that, okay, byte, right, this is my range. So I think it's pretty good if I'm gonna use byte for my age. So I start with my primitive byte, then I give the name. Pay attention that the name should be reasonable, right, so we know what for we're using it for. And then I'm gonna give an age, let's say 35. You see, it works. For example, if I go outside the byte range and write 200, then I'm gonna get a compile error, and then I have to cast my byte, because this is not how you, what for you use the byte for. The next one is a year, and for year I can basically use another primitive, like, so now we want to assign a year. So let's have a look what if I assigned a year to byte, let's say 2023. giving me a compile error because it is out of the range. The next one to byte is short, and I can clearly see that actually this number is gonna be in a short range, and it's gonna be accepted. So what about the salary? Can I use a salary in a short? Say, let's give a good salary. I'll give you 5,000. Look at this. No, we cannot because it is out of the range, way out of the range. So the next one is actually int. You see, as an int, I can use it. There's not a problem because I'm in the int range. Basically, most of the primitive you're gonna use int because it's very common range to use. What is it actually long? Like, can I use the number and use int, let's say, like that long? No, it's already way outside of my int range. And if I assign it to the long, still gives me a compile error. Why? Because when we use long, we always have to use at the end of the number big or small l to let our IntelliJ know that we use the long one, because by default it's going to be assigned to the int anyway. So this is about the primitives. Let's come and try some decimals. Int is actually the preferred primitive data type to use. Why are you giving me compile error? Oh, like this. So next one is decimals. In decimals we have float and double. Usually we use double because it's also by default as preferred one. So let's start with the double and assign a tax. Double is decimals, it's just everything we use with a point. So you see, it's perfect, it's unsigned, it's a long range we can use for here. What we need to use a float. So if I, for example, I signed AI and say it's giving me the compiler error, right? Why? Because it's automatically always preferred to use double. So in this way, IntelliJ thinks that it's double. But I need IntelliJ let to know that I'm using actually float. By that, I can write f at the end, big one or small one. It doesn't matter. By then, IntelliJ always knows that I want to use float, right? Because we cannot. Without this, we cannot reassign a small amount to the bigger one. By that, we need IntelliJ let to know what we actually do. So the next one, what I want to show you is how to use characters, symbols. Any symbols, we use a char. Then we give a variable name, and single quotes are reserved for the char, like that, or char second, single quotes. We can also use our hashtag inside. So this is basically all our primitives, 8 primitives we have in Java. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is a boolean, which I'm going to show you in a second. But before that, what I want to tell you, very important thing about variable names. Pay attention that they always have to be meaningful. You can't just write whatever you want because you're going to reuse it and it's going to be very hard to find it or use in the way you need it to use. Well, you can't put digitals in front, doesn't work, this is the rule. And the only one symbols you can use is a $sign or that one. You can use the numbers only after you give a name. So this is very important rules. It's the rules to write actually the clean, nice code. Always pay attention on variable names. Try to give them as implicit and clear understanding for anyone, because when you're writing the code, not only you gonna be using it, but also another people. And here's another example I wanted to show you just for practice, so you will understand what for we need to use boolean. So let's say I'll have here int a, which is 100, and int b, which I give a value of 200. And now what I want to know, I want to ask if, let's say a is greater than b. And then I say a, the one I declared, bigger than b. And to know the answer, I need to print it out. A here, it's a variable I declared. So let's see, is a greater than b or not? IntelliJ will give me the answer and we will see. No, it is not. So this is all about the primitive data types I want to talk today. I hope you learned something from this and this session was helpful for you. Thank you very much, and please to support my channel, subscribe. I appreciate it very much, and I see you in another video. Thank you so much.